Hello! Today I'm here to do my summer reading wrap up. I'm going to bunch together July and August because I didn't read that much. I wasn't around much and have been slacking. It's 6 books all in all. 2 are great, the others not so much. And none of them I have in physical copy because I either got them from the library or from friends and don't have them anymore because I tried to return books. So I have nothing to do with my hands, but that'll be fine. The very first book I read was The Butterfly Garden by Hutchison, I believe. It's a thriller about basically the gardener who holds a garden of butterflies, basically women he holds captive in this butterfly garden he's created, and the story takes part after the girls have escaped, presumably, whilst the FBI questions one of the girls, Maya, and there are cutbacks to when the girls were living in captivity and sort of flashbacks even earlier on when Maya was still living not captive, a free person. Very shocking scenes. I like that in thrillers, but just as a fair warning, if you are touchy, that's unfair. If you are sensitive to those things and you don't enjoy that in a thriller, then maybe let this one go. I gave it 3 out of 5 on Goodreads, mainly because I found the ending a bit disappointing, and then because I felt like I had read a lot about the horrible things people are capable of. I felt like a bit of fluff, and I read a sort of chick lit book called The Irresistible, Blueberry Bakeshop Cafe, I believe. I ended up giving it 2 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. It is a story reminiscent of Sweet Home Alabama, if you know that movie, and I think the movie is better. It's about this sort of high-strung, successful attorney who she travels from Manhattan to the small town her grandmother lived in to follow her past, find out more about her grandmother who she loved very dearly, and basically she instantly falls in love with a hunky small town guy who's really nice, and as a reader we immediately think he's nicer than her fiancé, who's also a successful person back in New York. There are sort of scenes where she's very much sort of the damsel in distress, and the guy that is in this small town, you then find out, is not just a construction worker. He actually owns the place. And I just found that so condescending. It's like, so what if he's just a construction worker? Why does he have to also be a successful person for him to be an appropriate love interest? I didn't like it. As the next book that I read, I decided, okay, I was ready to delve into something that presumably I would like a little more. I got it from the library. Called All the Birds Singing by Evie Wyld, and I believe she's won quite a fair amount of prizes. She's an English-Australian author, I think, born in London but also grew up in Australia, I'm not sure. But the book centres on the main character who is living and running a farm somewhere in England, and she lives a very secluded life. She's not mingling very much. She lives together with her dog, which obviously that gains my appreciation. The chapters switch back and forth between her past and her present linearly moving forward. The past we go back and back and back and back to get sort of to the core of her beginning, troubled past, and mystical things start happening to her in present day. And I thought it was excellent. I'm really sad I don't actually have the physical copy anymore because there were some really gritty but really poignant quotes in there. I should have written them down. This is me being a not very conscientious reader. Definitely I recommend it to everyone who likes a little bit of magical realism mixed with a really complex character who isn't always likable, but essentially just believable. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars, and I also gave the next book 5 out of 5 stars, which was The Merman by Carl-Johan Vallgren. I could pronounce that in a more Swedish way, possibly. It is set in Sweden. It follows Nella and her brother. They are teenagers. She's the older sister, and how they basically struggle through school. They both get bullied and harassed quite a bit and are neglected at home. And Nella's just a really great character. I really often do not like child narrators, but Nella's a really great character. She's out of necessity forced into sort of petty crimes, which she doesn't condemn, but she also doesn't really see the fuss. There's this whole scene where she shoplifts together with her brother, and it's so straight. It's written in such a straightforward way, and it's not. She doesn't get any kick out of it. There's no thrill to it. She just steals because she needs money, so that's what she does. I thought that was really great, also because at the end of the day, she's just a really, really good kid with a pure heart, which opens up a very magical and mystical world, which I'm trying not to give too much away, but the book is called The Merman. That's not just a metaphor. Yes, very good book. I highly enjoyed it. Then on my Kindle, I read the book Eileen by Otessa Moshfegh. I'm sort of pronouncing that the way it's written, which was actually a book that was recommended to me on YouTube by a woman called Amelia East. She has a YouTube channel, which I will link below. It's told through the eyes of now older and mature Eileen, and she talks about a week in her life or so. I think, yeah, condensed, it's no more than that. When her as a 24-year-old feeling trapped in a small town that she's living in together with her alcoholic father. She works in a prison and meets the glamorous new psychologist who works in the prison, and events unfold. It's a short novel. It spans over a short time frame, and it is really depressing. The tone, the character is so unhappy and so self-loathing, and you're constantly torn between thinking, oh, for God's sakes, get a grip, your life is not that terrible, and then you're going back to, no, actually, your life does really suck, and if you just got yourself out of there, maybe your life could properly begin and there would not be the need to be so miserable. So as a reader, I just thought that was a really interesting experience, being pulled back and forth, what you actually thought of this character. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It's funny in a dark way. And because it was so dark, the last book I read was Everything, Everything by Nicola Yoon, which is a YA book that loads of people have talked about. And I read it because I wanted to push through another book, so I didn't feel like I'd read so little. And that was a bad idea. It's about a girl, who is allergic to everything and can't leave her house because of that, and she falls in love with the new neighbourhood boy. I gave it 2 out of 5 stars, which looking back, I could have given less. I did like, there are sort of parts of the book are the emails that she and the boy write back and forth, which I like that in books, but the ending was so predictable. If you like YA and you don't mind the all-consuming big teeny love story, then you might like this. Maybe you've probably already read it. I didn't think it was very good. And that was all the 6 books I read. I haven't read that much. I haven't really filmed for YouTube in a while, because I was busy. But now autumn's gonna start and I will stay put and be inside much, much more. I hope you have a wonderful day. I have to save the kitchen from my puppy. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.